And just laughing at my guys, Facebook. Guys, namaste. God bless. How are all of you? I'm making fun of myself. I always do, man. Happy Tuesday. Yes, I remember it's Tuesday there, Meatball. I don't need the comments to remind me. You said Wednesday. But it's National Taco Day. I thought every Tuesday was Taco. Oh, no, Taco Tuesday is so national. I get it. It's also National Inner Beauty Day. Inner Beauty. It's when you start thinking how divine you are and how beautiful you are on the inside. The outside really doesn't make much difference anymore, because from that inner feeling of self, of knowing self, you create the most amazing life. But people are starting to get that now. I get texts and calls and, I want this, I want that, I want all this stuff in my life to change. But when things start leaving to make room for what they desire, then I get the call. I'm scared. And I'm not mocking people, because I was there. I wanted the world, and as the world started changing, because I was asking for different things, I got scared. I wasn't ready for it. A lot of us have to realize it. The minute you start asking for your life to change and start putting that thought and those feelings involved, that's a powerful force that is moving forward. And your life is going to start evolving around that. So all I can tell you is get ready for the roller coaster. And not in a bad way, but emotionally get ready for that new life, because it starts within here. And indeed, your thoughts create things. Indeed, thoughts will eventually become things. But once you get that belief that it's going to happen, get on the roller coaster. Here comes the ride. And this is where people falter. And I did. And this is why I lost everything, because I wanted a different life. And as everything was going away, literally everything was going away, I was not emotionally prepared for it. So the best advice I give people, because I didn't give myself this advice, was get yourself ready for the new life every single day. And start living in that. You live in that feeling every day of the person that you want to become. And life can only evolve around that. If you're doing it on a passive level, and you get hit with something that was taken away that you didn't want anyway, you can't start screaming or shaking your fist in the air. Why me? No, it's because of you. And that's the beauty of it. We have complete control of this life, but we have to realize there's a lot of parts involved, man. There's a lot of pieces involved with this evolution or transformation of self. It's you understanding, yes, I want this. Okay, what do I got to do? Indeed, the minute you start saying that, your brain's going to start looking for answers. What do I need to do to get ready for it? So when it does hit, and it will eventually, when it does hit, you're going to be ready for this. You're going to be emotionally stable. But we were trained otherwise, people. Out of the quote box tonight, you can't calm the storm, so stop trying. What you can do is calm yourself, knowing the storm will pass. I talked to a dear friend of mine. I've known this person for, over 10 years. And all these things that this person wanted are starting to evolve now. And I get a call and I'm scared. What's happening? I said, it's changing. I said, things are happening. It doesn't, I don't care how many accolades you got on the wall, how many, acronyms you got in the front or the back of your name. When shit hits the fan, we all coddle in the corner, man. And I know that. I've been there, shaking my fist in the air, saying, God, why me? And I can imagine God looking down saying, because you asked for this. When we're pre-programmed for a life one way, but yet we want a different life, and we're not ready for that life emotionally, that's when the chaos starts. And all I told this person was the same thing I kept telling myself. Get your mind clear. Find some clarity. Because with that clarity becomes our gifts of thought and our imagination to get back on track to where we really want to go. And once you decide what you want, you're on this thought pattern of it, it's going to start evolving. People are going to start leaving. You're not going to fit in with the crowd anymore. You're not going to conform with anything except for what you're trying to have, be, or do in life. So once you get the clarity and you start understanding that, oh, this is part of the process. This is part of the process. It'll bring much peace to your mind. But like I said, as I was shaking not my fists, but this reel, This is the physicality of it. This is how the brain is actually shaped. But the good thing is it's all malleable, man. We have this power to change it. And this is my life in a nutshell. And perhaps you guys can relate, imagine the scenarios from what I'm telling you to relation of your life. And you'll realize now I know why things are happening, but this is most important to give you some clarity in your thought process. Because if you want change and you're thinking about change and you're starting to feel it a little bit in the old heart, it's going to start evolving from that. So don't be scared, man. Welcome it. Welcome it. Open your mind with the clarity, not from this friggin' reel that I saw, and you'll start realizing why this is happening, why I'm feeling this way, and hopefully it'll give you some insight, most importantly, some peace, man. It starts off. It develops when chaos becomes your baseline. How many of you can relate to an upbringing of chaos as your basically your title? My house, shit house. My house was complete and utter chaos, and I can honestly relate to that. If you spend years in survival mode around yelling, control, abandonment, or instability, your body starts trusting peace. This is not anxiety. It's a trauma-adapted nervous system. And that really makes sense, because people forget that, from the invisible comes the visible. In other words, I'm explaining what happens when you're raised in something and your thought process becomes that something, your body becomes that something. And that's the hard part. You try, you can change the mindset, you can start thinking positive, but your body is programmed in a whole different way. Your nervous system is programmed in a whole different way. There you go, trying to serve two masters. How do you get rid of that? How do you fix it? Repetition. I'll get into that indeed. This is not just anxiety. It's a trauma-adapted nervous system. One that has learned chaos as comfort and peace as a warning sign. The reel started in the most powerful way. I gave you the back end of it. Some people can't relax even in peaceful moments. Not because they don't want to, but because their brain doesn't know how. That's why I read that for you. That back end of it. We don't realize what's going on until we realize what we're programmed to. And I'll say it again. Some people can't relax even in peaceful moments. Not because they don't want to, but because their brain doesn't know how to. They call it nervous system dysregulation. To me, those big words to me were I had no idea what the hell they were talking about, but it's a pre-installed program of chaos that you're used to. And now that you're receiving little breadcrumbs of why of your life changing, you start getting scared because you've been brought up in fight or flight mode. So give yourself a break and realize that yes, you want these certain things in life, but emotionally you have to get ready for them. And how do you get ready for them? Look at this shit. My light just went out. How do you get ready for them is really quite simple, man. It's you doing a daily regimen on the life you want to live. And it took me many a moon to realize that I have to pre-install what I'm trying to attract to get ready for it emotionally. The big stars do this. All the deceased notables did this. It's a daily practice of welcoming the new life before the new life has come. And it's amazing. They call, and I'll get back to my reel here. This is called the nervous system dysregulation, alteration, impairment of the psychological process. In other words, you have to understand how to regulate your emotions. You have to be ready for the change that we all desire and that you desire, what you're thinking about every single day. It's not a hard process. It really isn't. It's not a hard process. It comes down to what Robert Collier said. Constant repetition carries conviction. You keep doing that new life internally because you've already asked for it. You're writing it down every day. You're doing this and that. But if you're not ready emotionally, when little how should we say speed bumps hit and things expunging from your life that you really didn't want anyway, but now you're getting scared that things are happening, it's understanding that getting ready for your new life inside is going to make the evolution of your transformation much more adaptable and much more pleasurable. It's you understanding how the inside works and realize if you were raised one way and you're trying to change this way, it's going to be not arduous, it's going to be scary because you're used to being a fighter. You're used to being the one that always had to fight for everything you've always wanted in this world. But the world is saying, wait, you're asking for different stuff, so we're going to start giving it to you. You're saying, wait, I'm not used to this. Be ready. Practice every day. Practice that new life on the inside. Understand the divineness within you as within all of us to create all of it. But it's going to come. What I'm saying is before you self-sabotage it, the relationship, the finances, all these new things that you want in life, do your homework, man. Be ready for it emotionally because it's going to come eventually. And if you keep doing this every day, as Robert Collier said, constant repetition, you're going to build a belief and conviction that it's already yours before it's even here. And it makes the process so much more easier. I mean, I spent many a moon in that 12 by 12 trying to figure out, knowing what I wanted, mind you, in the grandest sense, per se, but not having a conviction that I can get it, or not believing that I can get it. Therefore lies the battle. The angel and the devil fighting on one end. Don't give up. Give up. Don't give up. Give up. You can't be in this inner civil war and expect your change to come in how should we say, an easy manner. It's going to go up and down like a yo-yo. Psychologically, if you were raised one way, but you're trying to become a different way, emotionally, you have to get yourself ready for it. It'll ease the pain of things that are leaving for the new things to come in. It'll give you clarity. It's hard to understand for some people. Like I said from the beginning of the reel, some people can't relax even in peaceful moments, not because they don't want to, but because their brain doesn't know how. Realize we don't know everything, but we can become anything. But we have to train ourselves to be that way. We have to train ourselves to understand that, yes, indeed, this is where I was, but I want to go to a new life. I want to bring a new beginning. I want to step in a new dimension of who I was. I want to create a new avatar of who I am. Indeed, that's great. But be ready for it emotionally. Practice every day that person. Either write it, think about it, believe it, feel it on a constant basis. Who else said this? Zig Ziglar. I love this. He said, repetition is the mother of learning, the father of action, which makes it the architect of accomplishment. You're the architect. You have this blank canvas every day that you wake up to, and you pick the colors you want to paint your life. The more you paint the same colors of the life that you want, in other words, in your thoughts and your feelings, you're going to create that. The best way to get ready for that is to live in it more internally than externally. They say take action. Indeed, emotional action, which is most important. It's you thinking about that person, indeed. But what's going to happen when it does happen? That's what I'm talking about. Well, what's your day going to be like? How are you going to feel every day when you awake with this grand desire already in your life? That's living in the end. That's mounting an attack on the old you, saying, here, take this and stick it up your tush, because this is who I am now. Life is going to revolve around that, which is the most beautiful thing in the world. It's you taking charge of your emotions, because you were already trained in the ladder of how not to be. And you don't want to be that anymore. You keep attracting the wrong people. You keep attracting all these situations that are interrupting your life, and you don't want that anymore. That's great. That's clarity. It's you making the conscious choice every day. It's in our moments of decision that our destiny is shaped. Who the hell said that? I think Tony Robbins said that. Here I am, an old Tony Robbins guy. But this is what they're talking about. Everything you create starts within. So damn it, the camera's shaking. So damn it, be ready for it, man. Prepare yourself for it. Edify yourself on it. You want money? Okay, that's fine. Edify yourself on how to invest it, grow with it, respect it. Create the right energy to attract more of it. This is what I'm talking about. You want success? Study it. Be it. Don't put yourself out there in all these things that aren't conducive to where you're going. That's just distraction. I want destination. I want my life to be the way I want it to be, and that's it. The people in my life, the situations, that's who I'm going to be every day. You start answering those kind of questions. You start clarifying who you want and what you want to have, be, and do in life. That's what life starts bringing you. And you won't be scared when shit starts hitting the fan, because this is part of the process of going and coming. And the evolution of stuff requires that. You can't have your glass full and keep filling it with more stuff. The old stuff has to go for the new stuff to come in. So don't be scared of change. Welcome it, because you asked for it. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to worry anymore. The only thing you have to do, if you want this grand life that you think, wow, I can have this transformational life and all these things. Indeed, anybody can. We all can. We're all entitled because we're all blessed to have it. But you have to get ready for it on an emotional level. And if you're fighting with the old you, that might take some time. Not in a bad way, but it's there to wake you up. Because if you've received something that you've always wanted, but then it's gone real quick, you self-sabotaged it. And this is something for you guys to really think about it for yourself on this Taco Tuesday or Taco Day on Tuesday. Man, I don't want tacos today. I'm going to have pasta instead. But really understand the true power that we have. And that evolution is a process. But what are you doing during that evolutionary time? Are you getting yourself ready for it? Are you just saying, I asked for it, it's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to happen, but what's going to happen when it does? What kind of change? Get out of the fight or flight mode of your life and realize the true power that you have. Educate yourself on the change that you want. Be ready for it, prepared. We already prepare ourselves every day. We do the certain rituals and routines every day. You want a new life, new rituals. You want a new, how should we say, person. You have to become that person on the inside. And watch how life brings it to you, guys. So really think about it for yourself. I'll say it again from Robert Collier. Constant repetition carries constant conviction. In other words, what you can do is calm yourself knowing the storm will pass. So whatever's going on in your life, the storm is going to pass. You have to believe in yourself. Create a ritual around of reconditioning the mind that you want to become. And keep doing that every day. And watch how your life evolves around that, man. Put a big smile on your face knowing that you're becoming the person you've always wanted to be on the outside. But you already are on the inside. That's when change really takes hold. That's when your life really starts to grab itself by the balls and saying, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I'm becoming. So as America's Mentor, happy Tuesday to you guys. America's Mentor _ Radio Instagram. # America's Mentor on YouTube. Almost 1,000 videos on there, man. So please check me out. Subscribe, follow, share. Enjoy your Tuesday, guys. I will talk to you guys soon, man.